Hi, I'm Nick Redding, the President and CEO of Preservation Maryland, and I'd like to welcome you tonight to Bengies. I wish we were at an event where we could all be together and shake hands and eat off of the same buffet, but obviously that's not in the cards this year. We thought we'd be there, but fortunately we're at Bengies where we're all safe, and fortunately I'm on the big screen. Tonight is an opportunity for us to celebrate the places, the people, the organizations, and the projects that are preserving Maryland's rich and irreplaceable historic places. From the brackish waters of the Chesapeake Bay to the foothills of the Catoctons in Frederick County, we're recognizing people, organizations, and places all across the state. And we wouldn't be able to do any of that, nor any of our work, if it wasn't for you. The members, the donors, the supporters and funders, the partners of Preservation Maryland. Speaking of those partners, I'd like to recognize and thank our corporate sponsors this evening who are making tonight's event possible and who make the work of preservation possible.
Tonight's event would not be possible without our generous sponsors. Sponsors of Back to Bengies include tonight's platinum sponsor, Worcester Eisenbrandt, our diamond level sponsors, Grunley Construction, Simpson, Gumpertz and Heeger, Historic Roofing Company, Inc., Delbert Adams Construction Group, LLC, Brown Advisory. Our gold level sponsors include Cat's Day, LLC, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, Lewis Contractors. Our silver level sponsors include SM&P Architects, National Trust Insurance Services, Penza Bailey Architects, Brennan & Company Architects, Quinn Evans Architecture, Zigger Sneed Architects. Thank you again to all of our sponsors who make tonight and all of our work possible. You're supporting the very best of Maryland. Preservation Maryland has emerged more determined than ever before. This year, we're not only celebrating a year of further growth and expansion, we're also celebrating our 90th anniversary. Since our founding in 1931, we've been a staunch voice in the preservation movement. Our storied journey began with the objective of preserving the historical objects and places of Maryland, and we've done that and so much more, thanks to your help. In the last year alone, we've purchased, revitalized, and saved 417 North Jonathan Street in Hagerstown. We've successfully advocated in Annapolis for an increase of authorized funding to the Small Commercial Tax Credit Program by over $1 million. We expanded our National Workforce Development Program, the Campaign for Historic Trades, including working toward federally registered apprenticeships for critical historic trades training. We've established new partnerships, added many new team members to support our ever-growing work, and championed the introduction of federal legislation, among many other preservation wins, big and small. Whether it's through the Campaign for Historic Trades, our award-winning podcast PreserveCast, the Historic Property Redevelopment Program, our advocacy work, or the deployment of smart growth programs, we are at the forefront of the preservation movement, restoring, revitalizing, and reinvesting in Maryland's unique and irreplaceable heritage. A special thank you tonight to our donors, partners, colleagues, and supporters as we continue to make lasting change in Maryland's communities for years to come. Here's to the next 90 years of Preservation Maryland. Tonight, we're pleased to announce our 2021 Best of Maryland Award winners. Every year, Preservation Maryland is honored to shine a spotlight on the ceaseless work of our Best of Maryland Award winners. Volunteers, architects, artisans, and elected officials doing the essential work of protecting the places that make Maryland such a special place to live, work, explore, and celebrate. Now, I'd like to introduce you to this year's awardees. Smart Growth Excellence Award, Black Women Build. Black Women Build Baltimore was founded to train Black women in carpentry, electrical, and plumbing while rehabilitating vacant and deteriorated houses. This training not only provides training for these valuable skills, but also promotes neighborhood revitalization and home ownership, with participants given the opportunity to purchase the homes they work on when they are completed. The program builds community, provides a way to build intergenerational wealth, and gives skills that can help the women demand higher salaries and maintain their new homes. This innovative approach to growth in existing communities not only brings back the built environment, but creates a community of first-time Black women homeowners. The Phoenix Award, the HOEN Lithograph Building. The HOEN Lithography Company left the East Baltimore neighborhood in 1981, and what was once a thriving community hub became a vacant structure for years to come. The campus is comprised of 3 historic structures dating to the late 1800s and 2 non-historic warehouse buildings on a site occupying an entire city block. Cross Street Partners took great care to preserve the building's historic fabric and story, and to meet the Secretary of the Interior standards, while incorporating modern building systems and amenities. Overcoming the challenge to balance necessary improvements for energy efficiency with historic requirements, this project uses 21% less energy than a typical building of its type. The HOEN Lithograph Campus is now the Center for Neighborhood Innovation and serves as a new model for neighborhood transformation. The Gerhardt Professional Award, Amanda Shores Davis, Star Spangled Banner Flag House. Amanda Shores Davis is the executive director of the Star Spangled Banner Flag House and Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. Davis was president of the Greater Baltimore History Alliance from 2017 to 2020 and is the secretary for the Maryland 4 Centuries Project, and serves on the Small Museum Association Conference Committee. Under Davis's leadership, the Flag House was awarded accreditation by the American Alliance of Museums in March of 2019. Accreditation is the highest national recognition afforded the nation's museums. Of the nation's estimated 33,000 museums, only 1,000 are currently accredited, and the Flag House is one of only 23 museums accredited in Maryland. For her service and excellence, we're pleased to present this year's Gerhardt Professional Award to Amanda Shores Davis. The Artisan Award, John W. O'Rourke, Historic Sodderly. John O'Rourke has served as Sodderly's restoration manager for over 2 decades. He served as an expert advisor and facilitator for the development of Sodderly's extensive preservation plan. In his long relationship with Sodderly, John has done restoration work on almost all of Sodderly's 24 buildings and has performed an analysis of many of the buildings, which has been used to establish restoration priorities. John began his career as a restoration carpenter working at historic St. Mary's City in the early 1980s. John worked periodically over a span of more than 25 years as a restoration carpenter at Mount Vernon, George Washington's estate. John O'Rourke is now retired but continues to serve as an advisor to Historic Sodderly, and he's been recognized by the organization as a Sodderly Fellow for his incredible dedication and service. The President's Award, Christian HAVEMEYER, Chestertown, Maryland. Christian HAVEMEYER is a philanthropist, preservationist, and lover of architecture. Christian played an important role in the wave of historic preservation that took Chestertown by storm in the 1970s and has continued to this day. His forethought, patience, and leadership have been vital to the preservation and documentation of Chestertown's storied history and has made a profound impact all across our state. Preservation champions Jan Gardner, Frederick County Executive, and Senator Guy GUZZONE, State Senator, Howard County. Senator Guy GUZZONE of District 13 in Howard County was the Senate sponsor of key historic tax credit legislation in 2021. The small commercial tax credit has been the backbone for many Main Street projects across the state and can be used to transform vacant houses into vibrant historic homes for many whom homeownership had long been out of reach. Despite the unprecedented constraints of a wholly virtual session of the Maryland General Assembly, Senator GUZZONE successfully stewarded a bill that extended the life of the state's small commercial historic tax credit by increasing the authorization by an additional $1 million. Senator GUZZONE understands the value of the historic tax credit to economic development and community revitalization across the state, and we look forward to continuing to work with him in the future. As Frederick County Executive, Jan Gardner stewards one of the state's fastest growing communities. She's shown a continued commitment to preservation through the county's smart growth-minded comprehensible plan Livable Frederick, increased funding for land preservation, new grants for historic preservation, and a new effort to document African American history in the North County. County Executive Gardner has been a key partner of Preservation Maryland and has worked diligently to invest in the county's rich urban core, protect its vibrant agricultural community, and ensure that preserving the past is a part of Frederick County's future. The George Harrison Volunteer Award. MIDGE Ingersoll, Hansel House. MIDGE Ingersoll helped found the Nanticoke Historic Preservation Alliance to preserve the historic Hansel House. Since its founding in 2009, the organization has helped not only to ensure the preservation of the building itself, but has also worked to tell the stories of all three cultures whose history makes up the tale of this site: the native people of Chacon Village, African Americans, and colonial settlers. Today, the site is a leader in telling diverse stories and makes good on its mission and pledge of 3 cultures, 1 story. Stewardship Award, Montgomery County Parks, Josiah Henson House. The Josiah Henson House Museum and Park is home to a portion of an original plantation where Reverend Josiah Henson lived and worked as a slave from 1795 to 1830. Henson's 1849 biography is said to have inspired Harriet Beecher Stowe's novel Uncle Tom's Cabin. The project transforms the former plantation site to tell the story of Henson's life, based on facts and evidence, with a new visitor center and the only remaining historic structure rehabilitated as an interpretive exhibit. Located within a suburban context, the Parks Department spent nearly 15 years building relationships and consensus with the neighborhoods and community. An extensive amount of resources were needed not only to restore the deteriorating structure from the 19th century and to build a state-of-the-art visitor center, but also for historical research, archaeological exploration, and expert analysis. With the goal to continue telling the story for many decades to come, Montgomery County Parks utilized the community support, advocates, and funding to make this historic investment.
Hi, Nick again. I'm back, and I want to thank and take this opportunity to congratulate all of our award winners tonight, the people, organizations, and partners who are doing great work to save historic places that matter to all of us all across this state. I also want to thank all of you for joining us this evening at this special event. It's tough to throw an event as a nonprofit during the middle of this continuing public health crisis, but you being here is a big deal to all of us, and we greatly appreciate it. It's helping us have the capacity to continue this important work. Finally, and perhaps most excitingly, I get to introduce to you tonight's main event, Back to the Future. Now, this movie is a personal favorite of mine, not just because of its great 1980s nostalgia, but it's a pro-preservation movie. Of course, I'm talking about saving the clock tower. I think that's something we can all agree on, no matter our stripes or background. Saving that clock tower is important and is a great component of this awesome 1980s movie. So, let's head back with Doc and Marty and the whole gang as we go back to the future here at Bengies.